I'm taking my favorite seat and meditating my way through.
There you go. It's a good way to do it. It's really cool. Yeah, it's like a circular breathing movement. Leanne and I went to a concert. His name's Rudd, but he does a lot of. No, it's something else from that's probably why I said Rudd, because I was thinking of the actor. Xavier Rudd. He does some really cool stuff. I think he sometimes like two of them. It's great, but it's really cool. It's a really cool live performance. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Yeah, the Bee in the Circle is the spiritual living or science of mind.
Better?
Just if you want to see some of them, just
One way.
yeah, Xavier Rudd.
Good morning, my friend. Nice shoes. I love them. They're waterproof. Oh my gosh. Those are so awesome.
Hi. Hello.
Okay. Good.
so he's actually scrubbing down an entire row this morning at home, but, when you guys are ready, I'm just gonna get you on text and we'll come back and we'll give load all your stuff and get it after the workshop. Okay.
I grew up there and
All right. Nice. Awesome. I was like all vibrationally, I was asleep and I don't fall asleep fast usually. And I'm like, I'm so good. And I was out and I don't even remember, I laid down, was out in a minute and that's very, thank you for really good sleep, yeah. I was just literally out solid, quick.
that's funny too, 'cause, you know, Leanne and I work a lot most of the time, and now Leanne doesn't feel like she's so big, she's so good, like, you know, we're high. We all go through full body ops in a day.
Wow, so you gotta kind of come down to the whole, well, and you're doing your thing too, so just, press, right? Yeah.
They're cool.
I still can't go there.
Yeah, now people are doing the pour-overs, using like mechanics pour-over, and they're supposed to be really nice too.
So did you just stick me?
I was trying to get up, I was spinning around like this.
So it just sort of shut down, so you're having a hard time breathing, you're having a hard time.
And I started to mount it down, my arms, all my arms, both arms.
So all this is existing in your head.
Good morning.
And so then obviously you just immediately.
How's everybody doing? Yeah.
Are you just not even
For a few minutes it felt like fall. Now it feels a little bit more like summer again, huh? So I have a few announcements as we start out today. Welcome. I'm really happy to see you here today. My name's Jim. Our community outreach project for the Green Chair Project has been extended through Sunday, November 10th. To help participants recover from homelessness, crisis, and disaster, we have a list of items on the barrels in the fellowship hall and in the large classroom. The Community Outreach Committee is happy to shop for you. So if you don't have time to shop and put things in those barrels, just take your donation to the bookstore and they'll be happy to shop for you and put them in the barrels for you. We need the donations by November 3rd. And the committee wants to send a big thank you to all that you've done to help this community outreach. Now, for our next community outreach, which will run from November 17th through December 15th, we're once again collecting toys for the Marine Corps Toys for Tots campaign. Yeah. We will focus on toys for boys and girls ages 0 to 3. And why do we pick that range? That group is the one that often receives the fewest donations, unfortunately. So we want to target that group. If you don't have time to shop, once again, the members of the community outreach will be happy to shop for you. Just go to the bookstore and make a donation. By Sunday, December 8th, we suggest if you're going to buy toys to give toys that are priced between $1 and $20, so somewhere in that range. And please drop your unwrapped toy in the boxes located in the large classroom by the bookstore and the fellowship hall. Why unwrapped? So they know that it's a boy toy or girl toy and know who to give it to. So Okay. We'll just leave that. So this afternoon, please join us for Splash of Love Sunday immediately following the service outside. Later this afternoon, please consider diving into the Paradiso and Rasamai Meet Your Bowl workshop. Many have discovered that singing bowls are amazing tools assisting in accelerating transformation, meditation, and healing arts. Come and find the bowl which is your ideal match in singing bowl form. Bowls can be purchased this afternoon. The workshop will be held from 1 to 4 following the service, and tickets are $77 at the door. Also want to let you know that their beautiful CDs are up front. You can take them home and enjoy in your daily meditation practice or however you want to do healing. So feel free to come up after service and take those home with you. We will be providing gratitude journals this Wednesday, the 30th, and we'll have other days that we're giving them out. This journal is taken from the work by Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones, and he says, "Always remember, the universe conspires for your good. It's up to you to enter into the flow to receive the good. May you always remember that conscious gratitude is an essential key to activating abundance in every area of your life." The November announcement sheet, we do have lots of other things to do here, is located on the welcome table. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Janelle, our host today.
Oh, good morning. Reverend Dusty sends her love. In fact, if we all turn around and wave at the camera, I think she might be watching this morning. We love you, Reverend Dusty. Hello. She is at a conference in California, so she will be back soon, but I am trying to fill her big shoes a little bit today. So, welcome to everyone. We are glad that you are here. Is there anyone here for the first time that wants to identify yourself as such? Because we'll just wave at you and send you some love. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Thank you. All right, so I believe what we do next is we stand up and, actually hug each other or shake hands or say hello. Do the thing you love to do. This is your community. All right. I know you all love this part. So I'm going to have you stand back up, though, and we're going to get our blood moving. We're going to sing.
One light shining at you and me. One love loving at you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living at you and me. One light shining at you and me. One love loving at you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. One life living light shining, it's you and me. One love loving, it's you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living, it's you and me. One light shining, it's you and me. One love loving, it's you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy, I just wanna shout. One life living, it's you and me. One light shining, it's you and me. One love loving, it's you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living, it's you and me. One light shining, it's you and me. One love loving, it's you and me. 'Cause God is all there is.
There it is. It was like a pose. You got to pose at the end. All right, it is now my pleasure to introduce our fabulous platform host of the day, Ms. Carol Cross, practitioner du jour. All of you are. Yeah, you're all practitioners du jour. You got the wings. Come on. Thank you.
So, good morning, everyone. It's great to see everybody. All right, our theme for 2019 is spirituality in action. Our October theme is unity. I cherish the human family. And Ruth's talk title is 1 + 1 = 1. Woo! All right. I wanted to invite everybody to a very special service we're having this Wednesday, October 30th, which is our own TCSL take on traditional Day of the Dead service. So for thousands of years, cultures all over the world have honored those who have passed on to the metaphysical plane with a seasonal ritual in around this time of year. So if you have someone, either human or animal, that you want to remember or to make contact with, please bring a photo, a small personal momentum, and or a special treat of theirs to leave on the altar. We will also have an optional tissue paper flower making discussion activity prior to the service at 6:30. We also invite you to bring food or drink item to share with each other and to stay afterwards to swap tales about the loved ones that we're celebrating. We invite you to wear colorful or festive party clothes because this is a joyous party for the deceased people or animals that we love and miss. So, all right, if you would like to dedicate flowers to someone or something, for $25 you can sign up for a date in the bookstore. In addition to the dedication, you also get to take the flowers home to enjoy. Please remember to return the vases as soon as possible. However, there is no flower dedication today. So now I'm going to read this community's purpose statement, which is located on the back of your program. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And speaking of that, it's time for us to close our eyes and center ourselves and allow the beautiful sounds of these unbelievable crystal bowls to wash over us as we go within and make that divine connection.
Today's reading is from Ernest Holmes. He says, God in me is unified with God in all. This one is now drawing into my life all love and fellowship. I am one with all people, with all things, with all life. As I listen in the silence, the voice of all humanity speaks to me and answers the love that I hold out to it. Without further ado, Paradiso and Rasamani.
So good morning.
Good morning.
So since Dusty's not here, she said that I had about a couple hours to hope you brought your lunch. So the theme of this month, am I really loud? Okay, good, okay. So the theme of this month has been focused around this idea of unity and oneness. This deeper understanding of our connection to spirit, to ourselves, to those around us. So today's, well, the title was Seeing Others as One, but I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, hence the title, 1 + 1 = 1. Now, it may be of no surprise that I am no mathematician. Actually, I spent most of my college one math class, because I was a social work major, or actually religion major and social work. So I only had one math class, which I spent most of the time asleep. So yeah, but this is spiritual math, so hopefully this is going to make sense by the end. So the call today before we dive into this, is to be willing to see things differently. Isn't that the goal of our spiritual life, is to see things differently, right? To kind of change our perspective and kind of see things in different ways. And so, for the lack of a better term, kind of put on a new pair of glasses, right? Now, speaking of glasses, this is a completely side note, but I did get my eyes checked, earlier this week, and I am just right the step below needing reading glasses. Now, to my just sheer shock, I told her, I said, I cannot believe a 22-year-old needs reading glasses. And then I realized, oh my God, I am not 22. So I had to look at things a little bit differently. But this is our idea. This is the whole idea today, is to step into a new way of seeing things, a new perspective. And that, like I said, that's the whole point of the spiritual path. That's why we get together here, right? Y'all didn't just come for the coffee, did you? No, we actually came here to learn how we can see things differently and see others differently and see this world differently. So, did everyone bring their new pair of glasses?
Yes.
Now, I figured that some of y'all may be slacking and not bringing a new pair of glasses, so I thought I would give you some. Helpers, please. Now, this is not the time to think that you're too cool for school, so we're going to sport our glasses. Yeah. A new way of seeing things. Now, I don't actually think I'm going to be able to talk and see at the same time, but you get the effect. But I do expect you to wear yours. I'll put them up here on my head, so it's kind of, I'm sort of seeing them. Y'all look cool. Cooler, not that you weren't cool to begin with. Now, I did have a little bit of an issue buying these plastic glasses after Dusty's talk about, taking care of the world and the environment. But we can use these for our altars, so it's cool. Just a kind of reminder. Sometimes we need a reminder to see things differently, right? All right. So now that we are fully equipped, everyone feel fully equipped? All right. So now let's get down to business. We're ready. All right. So we talked a lot about this month about unity and oneness, seeing the divine within ourselves, understanding our connection with the universe, and how everything is a part of this whole thing. And for me, I don't know about you, but this is totally fabulous news. I mean, what greater realization than to have this awareness that we are home to this power and presence. That this presence that created everything that we see, things we can't see, this entire universe, is housed in this 5'0" body. Can you feel it? I want you to close your eyes just for a second. And I know we say this a lot. We say that this power and presence is inside of us, but feel it. Can you feel it? Like the power of the entire universe is right here where you are right now. Swallow that a little bit. Yeah. All right, now you can open your eyes. Don't fall asleep. Yeah. So this is a total game changer for us, isn't it? That this power and presence is within us. So here we are. We're totally rolling around in this awareness of this divine within us. We're connected to it, that it's something inside of us, not outside of us. That we don't have to do anything to get it. We don't have to earn it. It's just who and what we are. I mean, we are all buying spiritual mugs. We've got our T-shirts. We're posting Namaste on our Instagram. I mean, we're rolling around in this spiritual vibe. And we're feeling it, aren't we? I mean, I can be inside my house and be in one, and I am feeling it. And then I step out of my house and run smack into people. Here's the challenge. People that may look differently than me, act differently than me, believe differently than me. Those folks that may challenge us in one way or the other. Now, we call these folks EGR folks. These are extra grace required people. How many of you have extra grace required people in your life? How many of you are the extra grace required person in someone else's life? We've all been both, haven't we? We've all been both. So the oneness that we feel in the four walls of this center, the oneness that we may feel in the four walls of our house completely gets shifted. It becomes layered with this kind of judgment and separation. It's just how our brains work, right? Our brains are categorizing good, bad, safe, not safe. This is just, it's how our minds work. I mean, you probably are standing up here right now and have a million judgments about me. Good or bad, it's okay. It's just natural. It's the way our brains work. And so the challenge is to train our brains to see differently. The challenge is to look past these judgments and lumping people into people that are like me, people that are not like me, people that are good, people that are bad, people that believe the same way that I do, people that don't, and really see that we're all one. To look past these judgments and to be able to see the divine in other folks. So the journey is, like I said, to train the mind, honoring similarities, honoring our differences, and understanding that we are all individualized expressions of the one. Now, we say it all the time, that we're one with everything, everyone. But what does this look like below the surface? What is this feeling tone of this awareness of seeing others as one, as the divine is within us, being able to see that in other people? What does that feel like? How do we get lost or not get lost in this outer appearance, judgment, separation? Is everyone with me? Okay, let me make sure. Because sometimes I'm in my own head, so y'all are along for the ride, okay? So I believe the formula for understanding and seeing this oneness is fundamentally built into our practice of affirmative prayer and spiritual mind treatment. Now, who knows what that is? Oh, please let me see every hand. Stick it up even if you don't know. No, hence the 1 + 1 = 1 title. All right, you're gonna feel me here in a minute. All right, so of course I'm not gonna have you come here and just sit in the chairs. A little audience participation. All right, I need someone who can name the first step in affirmative prayer or our spiritual mind treatment. You.
Unification. Nice.
You get a free cup of coffee. So the recognition, there's one power, there's one presence, there's one force, whatever you call it, nature, God, spirit, Buddha, Bertha, Earl, it doesn't matter what you call it. But the one thing is to recognize that there is one power and one presence that is back of everything. Everything. All right, second step. Come on. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a part of that one power.
Correct. Yes. Another cup of coffee. Unification. So there's this power and presence, and I am one with that power and presence. Because the very nature, if we're saying that God or presence or spirit is all there is, well, we're part of that there is. So that's within us. It's who and what we are. So the second part of that, so if it's true for me, then it is so true for Janelle. Isn't that great? And Terry and Kathy and Jim and everybody. So if it's true for me, then it's true for everyone. So it can't be true for me or true for us and not true for those folks that we have a little problem with. You see how it breaks down there. Okay? So like I said, it can be true for me and people that look like me and think like me and act like me, and the rest of folks are just screwed. And yes, I said screwed. Sorry, Dustin. As much as we may want it to be true sometimes, don't we sometimes? We want to so much say, well, I have got it. I have got the divine. I'm not sure about you. Oh, that's not how it works. Spirit doesn't pick and choose, like, yeah, I'm going to go here and probably not there. There are no limitations. Spirit doesn't know one thing from another. It just knows it's going to be everywhere, all at once. So according to Deepak Chopra, every single thing is an aspect of this one field of consciousness. The whole never loses contact with its parts, and they are never lost or forgotten. The whole never loses contact with its parts, and they are never lost or forgotten. We're all connected. Never lost, never forgotten. Never separate. So how do we practically step into this? So we've got it in our head, right? We understand that we're divine. We understand that everyone else is too. So how do we actually live this? How do we get it from our minds to our feet and to our mouth and to those things that have to interact with actual real people? So what does it take to grow this ability? So I like sort of things that kind of make sense or line up or steps. And of course you're going to come here thinking there's going to be some steps. So of course I'm going to give it to you. 4 steps. You ready? Call it the 4 L's. And I didn't really plan it. It just worked out that it was L's. And I thought, fabulous. All right, we've got look, lean, listen, love. Okay? Here we go. Everybody ready? Got your glasses on? We're ready, buckled up. Here we go. So first L, look. We actually must be willing to actually be willing to look for the divine in others, right? It's all about intention. When we set the intention, when we set the desire that we truly want to not only understand the divine that's within us, but to see that in every person that we meet, every person that we see on TV, that is challenging, but every person, not just these people that we interact with, but everybody, everywhere. We have to set the intention to be willing to look, to be willing to really step into that space. All right, does that make sense? Everybody's looking, setting the intention, or being willing to set the intention. Okay. Number 2. Next we have to lean in. Now this I did kind of like slightly borrow this from one of my favorite folks, Brene Brown. I don't know if anyone knows Brene Brown. Not necessarily personally, but I've heard of her. And she's a social work research professor at the University of Houston. And she says, people are really hard to hate close up. We've got to lean in. So it's very easy to see differences in folks. When we're standing way far, like, oh, wow, I wouldn't be wearing that. Or, oh, no. But when we sit down and actually have a conversation with them. Hi. Hi. How are you? Great. Yeah. Close up, we see that, oh, folks are just like us. The same fears, the same doubts, the same triumphs, the same joys, the same concerns, just like us. But you can't see that way back here. Lean in. We have to kind of hone this skill of curiosity, which I think is a powerhouse spiritual, I don't know, practice. Thank you. I couldn't find the word. I appreciate that. This spiritual practice of curiosity. To be very curious about the thoughts and emotions of others. And the things behind those thoughts. The stories, the events, the challenges, the joys that have influenced those behaviors and those things. Does that make sense? Everyone has a story. I have a story which has created whatever you see here, this crazy sort of person. We all have stories. And to really lean in and turn up our compassion and empathy volume button. I'm turning like this, like an old school radio. On my Prius, it's a to turn that up, to really understand that it's through this connection with these very real interactions with folks, leaning in, that we can really understand that we're all in the same place. We are trying to navigate this spiritual essence that is in us in a really, really messy human experience. We're all trying to do that. And oftentimes our actions and people's actions come from that space of just trying to do the best that they can. To really understand people are doing the best they can with what they got. So the next key ingredient is listen. Now, in my opinion, which I guess if I'm standing here actually may mean something, in my opinion, that listening is the most important ingredient in effective spiritual growth. It's kind of closely aligned to leaning in. It's similar to leaning in. And this is not just listening with our ears. It's with our hearts. It's with our minds. It's listening with that deep place within us, that kind of soul listening. Mark Nepo, if you've ever read anything about Mark Nepo, who is just, I mean, if I ever had a boyfriend, I would want it to be him. Sorry. I cracked my own self up. But Mark Nepo writes, if I dare to hear you, I will feel you like the sun and grow in your direction. If we dare to really lean in, to really listen to folks, and not just the folks that we love and we get all squishy about, those folks that challenge us, those folks that may have different beliefs than us, and to really think, what can I learn from that? What can I learn about myself through this interaction? So this type of soul listening will reveal to us the words that often go unspoken in others. The pain, challenges, joys, triumphs. By really listening. And I think it's when we get that close to folks, it's only then that we can truly hear that voice of the divine within everybody. Just trying to break out and be expressed in a new way. Does that make sense? So once we've looked with new eyes, leaned in with this gentle curiosity, and listened with the ears of spirit, we will be able to gently step into this space of love. To love this one power, this absolute love that resides in everyone with no exceptions. And I think the words of Ernest Holmes that we heard at the beginning really serve as a roadmap for this understanding. So I'm going to read them again. And just listen to these words. God in me is unified with God in all. This one is now drawing into my life all love and fellowship. I am one with all people, with all things, with all life. As I listen in the silence, the voice of all humanity speaks to me and answers the love that I hold out to it. And so the really cool part about this, not only these kind of 4 L's, but this idea of trying to operate this understanding of others, is that it operates irregardless of time and space. It works whether the person's sitting next to us, on our TV, in a past relationship, in a past experience. This type of awareness knows no boundaries or limits. This is a capital T truth. That what's in me is in you. And what's in me is on the TV screen, is at the mall, if anyone goes to the mall anymore. It's everywhere. It can't help but be that. And so the challenge is to really get very mindful and intentional about seeing that in others. And understanding that through that awareness, through that ability to see that in others, that we not only change our experience, but we change the experience of the world. To be able to transform our awareness, transform the way we see others and the way we interact with others. And then we become this powerful presence on the planet, right? But it all starts with us. And seeing it in me, and seeing it in this person and that person. And then pretty soon we're going to see it in everyone. So I want to leave you with these words from the Upanishads, which is a sacred Hindu scripture. And I'll just ask you to, in whatever way you can center your physical body to really be a vessel for these words to flow in, I would ask you that you do that. Because when I read this, it kind of knocked me off, like literally, like I had to sit down because it was so powerful. And I almost just stood up here and read these words, but I thought, well, I probably needed to talk a little bit more because they were that powerful. So it reads, "In the beginning was only being, one without a second. Out of himself he brought forth the cosmos and entered into everything in it. There is nothing that does not come from him. Of everything he is the innermost self. He is the truth. He is the self supreme. You are that. You are that. Merge into the sea and become one with it, forgetting that they were ever separate streams. So do all creatures lose their separateness when they merge at last into pure being. There is nothing that does not come from him. Of everything he is the innermost self. He is the truth. He is the self supreme. You are that, and I would add, we all are that. And so it is.
So it is.
Inside is outside is inside is outside is in. Above is below is above is below is above. I am, you are, God is, you are, I am. I am, you are, God is, you are, I am. I am, you are, God is, you are, Please join us. I am, you are. God is, you are, I am.